Welcome to our SEO Best Practice Refresh. In this training, we'll talk about what is SEO and why does it matter. We'll then talk about technical elements of on-page SEO, as well as keywords, keyword variations, and how to utilize the 2017 keyword list while creating content. We'll also share some helpful tips and resources. What is SEO and why does it matter? Well, SEO is, of course, search engine optimization, and it's the process of optimizing a web page or a blog post through the use of quality content, keywords, links, and methodical strategies, all in an effort to gain higher rankings in search engines while increasing traffic to a website. Now, as content creators, we have this really important task of optimizing our content for two reasons. The first is for search engines. So search engines are just robots, right? And they need a little bit of help identifying the real purpose of a web page. So by optimizing content, utilizing great keywords and technical HTML elements, we're able to tell the search engine who we are, what we do, and what we're writing about. But more important than the search engine, we create content for the searcher so that they can gain knowledge or identify an issue or solve a problem. And although creating that content for search engines to identify our purpose, who we are, and our brand is important, we must remember first that we write for the searcher. So we're creating content that's valuable, it's easy to consume, it's shareable, and credible. How do search engines work? At a very, very high level overview, a searcher goes to a search engine's website like Google or Bing and types or speaks, if they're on a mobile device, a query into the search bar. Once they hit enter, that query is sent to the search engine, and the search engine then goes out. You can think of the search engine as like a robot or a spider. It goes out into the database or the internet, and it crawls that database to create index web pages that it thinks might be relevant to the searcher's query. That index is then funneled through several algorithms that help identify different characteristics of the web page or the web pages contained in the index. It helps to look for whether or not a web page is mobile friendly. Does it contain quality content? Is it spammy? Once it analyzes that index, it then prioritizes or ranks the results by what they think is most quality and most relevant information, and delivers that information or that index to the searcher in what is known as the search engine's results page, or you might hear us say SERPs, and that's what you see here on the right hand side. So why does SEO matter? Well, by optimizing our content, we ensure that not only is Genesis visible to the search engines and is generating high quantity of organic traffic to our website, but helps to ensure we're attracting quality traffic of visitors that can really benefit from our information, our products, and our solutions. We want to get our content into the hands of the right people. All right, let's talk about technical aspects of SEO and how to properly use keywords and keyword variations in our content writing. Now, in order to effectively optimize content, our keywords should be incorporated in 4 critical areas. That includes in metadata, which encompasses the meta title and the meta descriptions, in headings, which utilize proper heading tags, and then in the URL structure, and throughout the body copy, and the body copy contains not only keywords, but keyword phrases and keyword variations. Let's look at each one of these elements just a little bit closer, starting with our metadata. Metadata, again, encompasses the meta title and the meta descriptions. It is HTML that's included in the page source code, and that source code generates on the front end for the user a snippet in the search engine's results page. Now, the meta titles have a max character count of 60 characters, and that allows room for that pipe Genesis to be added at the end of the title. This is automatically added to the end of every single meta title for our entire website and for the blog, so you don't need to include this when you're writing your metadata. But just be aware that it is automatically populated, which makes it very important we stick to that 60 character count. Meta titles that exceed this character count, they get cut off and the searcher doesn't get the full view in the snippet. Now, searchers are less likely to click through our web page result if they don't see their target keyword in the meta title. So that makes it incredibly important that we include our primary target keyword within the first 25% of the meta title. And as you'll see here, the URL also contains the target keyword. All right, meta descriptions. So meta descriptions don't directly affect our page ranking, but they do have a direct effect on click-through rates. So meta descriptions should be enticing. They should tell the searcher why they should click on our result. All descriptions should contain keywords. They should only have 160 characters. That includes spaces, and again, if it exceeds the character count, it will get cut off and the searcher doesn't get full view of what our page is discussing or the description. Your meta description should again contain your primary keywords. And this again is just important because it gives a first glance view to the searcher what the content of this web page is. It's our chance to get them on our site digesting our content. All right, moving on to headings. So using keywords and body copy headings is very valuable, as it's been found that searchers will actually stay on a page longer if they can clearly see at a glance that the keywords they searched for are contained on the page. Using heading tags also helps to tell the search engine and the searcher what the most important topics on the web page or the blog post is. So let's look at how to properly organize heading tags. The H1, which is designed to be at the top of the page, it's the top level heading. It contains the target keyword. So here it says customer and journey. It's an omni-channel service that lets the search engine know that these are the main topics of this page and helps the searcher to clearly see that their keywords they've searched for are very evidently within the content of this body copy. The H2 follows the H1. It's important that your heading tags are in sequential order, and the H3 follows the H2. If you're starting a new section, it's important that you always start with either the H2 or, like we see here, the next section starts with the heading 3. A web page or a blog post should only ever have one heading 1 on the page. If there are multiple H1s on a web page or a blog post, Google will penalize us and we will receive a negative point. So be sure, again, that you only have one H1 on every page, and then the following headings are in sequential order, and you restart a section with either the H2 or the H3. Great, let's talk about interlinks. So interlinks help to connect one web page to a different page within the same website. And internal links are very valuable to SEO because they help to easily navigate the user throughout our website, or the searcher throughout our website. And the goal of the interlink is that you're linking the user to other pages on that site that contain relevant information. And that helps us to drive more targeted traffic from the blog to the website or vice versa, and that leads to more conversions, increased conversions. So how do you interlink properly? Well, interlinks should use anchor text like you see here. Anchor text is just a hyperlinked keyword or phrases. Again, be sure that you're linking a keyword or a key phrase. And then the anchor text should be relevant to the page that you're linking to. So this customer journeys keyword that is hyperlinked is linking to our customer journeys page. Interlinks should occur frequently but should flow naturally in your writing. So if you don't have any great keywords or keyword phrases to link the user to another page, relevant page, don't force the links. It's okay. But as a general rule of thumb, just aim for one interlink per every 100 words of body copy. Again, if it doesn't fit and it doesn't work, it's okay. Just a best practice rule of thumb. All right, let's move on to using keywords, keyword variations, and our 2017 keyword list. So as we've been discussing, keywords are needed in order to connect our content with the end user or the searcher. In the past, SEO was all about keywords, right? So the secret to ranking at the top or #1 in Google or the SERPs was through filling a web page with as many instances of one target keyword as you possibly could. But now that search engines have become so sophisticated, this tactic, which was known as keyword stuffing, has become very outdated, and it's actually penalized by Google. We talked about earlier, there's an algorithm that helps identify whether or not content on a web page is spammy. That's one of the things they look for. Does this page contain an overuse of keywords, suggesting that maybe the website is trying to trick the algorithms in order to rank #1. So we don't want to do keyword stuffing. How do we properly use keywords in SEO then? Well, the idea is that we create content in order to answer a searcher's intent. And this is done through the use of semantics and keyword variations. So let's just say, for example, someone is searching for customer experience. And they go through the list of search results, but they're not really finding what they're looking for. The meta titles aren't catching their eye. The meta descriptions aren't rousing any curiosity. Obviously, was not metadata written by a Genesis content writer. So they're just not satisfied with the search results. And no one ever goes past page 1 on Google. So what Google decided was that they were going to create an algorithm that worked to try to connect the contextual meaning of a term or what a searcher has searched for with other meanings throughout the web or the data space. So to help connect the searcher to other relevant queries. So let's just say that this person who is looking for customer experience, again, is just not satisfied with what they're looking for. So they scroll down all the way to the bottom of the page right before they can move on to page 2, and Google has placed this really awesome snippet which tells the searcher other related searches to customer experience. So let's just say they think, oh, customer experience strategy. I didn't even think about this, but this might be the information that I'm looking for. So they click the link, and then they're shown more results that talk specifically about customer experience strategies. And so by using keyword variations while we're creating content, we're able to help connect the searcher and to help tell Google what information might be relevant to the searcher's initial query. What other things might be relevant to someone searching for customer experience? So with that being said, let's talk about our 2017 keywords and how to utilize the 2017 keyword list. While this is opening, these keywords will be, or this keyword list will be available in everyone's SEO kits. They are currently going through the translation process, so we will let everyone know once they are available in your localized languages. But for right now, it's just the English version is accessible to everybody. All right, we are really excited to share this list with you. So in conjunction with our SEO agency and the HITS doctors, we've done a lot of research to find the highest searched terms for our industry. And in these first 2 tabs where it says Peer Engage, Peer Connect, and Peer Cloud, you will find our top most strategic keywords. These are our core focus keywords. You can think of them as the primary keywords for 2017. Now, the cool part of this document is that you'll notice all of these links are hyperlinked in both the Peer Engage and the Peer Cloud. And if you click on it, let's just say we'll go with automated routing, it will take you to the automated routing tab. And then in this tab, you will see variations of this keyword. These lists of keyword variations have also been heavily researched and have been found to be terms that people are searching for and landing on our website. They are also keywords that a searcher might see at that bottom of the SERP where it says suggested terms. And so while you're writing your content, it's really important that you use these keywords or these keyword variations as well as your target keyword of automated routing. As a general rule of thumb, we say incorporate 1 to 2 keyword variations while you're writing. And again, this will just help Google match more content on our site to a wider range of search queries, and that will give us more exposure, better rankings, and higher organic traffic and higher conversions. If you want to go back to either one of those first 2 tabs, you'll just click here. And then you will also notice that we've clearly outlined each keyword's related page. So if you're having trouble creating interlinks while you're writing content, you can refer back to this list to find some suggestions on where should you maybe link business optimization. Here's that URL right there for you. Again, this list is going through a translation process. All the localized pages will also be called out in the translated list, and that should be those lists should be ready for you shortly. All right, let's jump back here and just talk quickly about some reminders and share a few resources with you. So when we're creating content, when we're optimizing our content, our goal is always to just provide a phenomenal user experience, and that's just by creating information and sharing information that's valuable to our user. We want to keep search engines in mind while we're writing, but the searcher comes before the search engine. As a rule of thumb, you want to have 1 to 3 target keywords and keyword phrases in your writing, and that includes the keyword variation. Content is always detailed, but it's easy for consumers to read and understand. It's unique, not copied from other pages on our own website or on our blog posts or our blog or on any external sites. Copied content is a huge red flag with Google. We can get highly penalized if we're copying content, and that also goes for our meta descriptions and our metadata. We have a lot of duplicated metadata and meta titles, meta descriptions on our website, and that gets flagged by Google. So when you're creating web pages, please be sure that you are paying particular attention to the meta descriptions and meta titles, and that you're creating unique data every time you're writing new web pages or blog posts. We're incorporating images as we're writing content, and that we do like an average of 8 to 1,000 words of body copy whenever we're writing a new web page. And of course, keywords, keyword variations, and phrases are included in our writing as often and as naturally possible, still maintaining that easy to read flow, nothing is forced, it's always natural. And over here, you'll just find some fun resources. Moz is a great resource for SEO. If you're just curious and you want to know more, they're highly reputable in the SEO world, and they do a lot of fun webinars. So definitely refer to this page or some like beginning information on SEO. If you'd like to know more about Google and algorithms, super fascinating, you can read a little bit more there. And then if you just need some little extra reminders, you want to print out a checklist to keep at your desk, here's a fun little checklist for writing SEO copyright that I like to refer to as well. Well, thank you for watching this training session. SEO always prompts a lot of questions, so feel free to send those to our SEO team at seoteam@genesis.com.